Yeah, hi everyone. Oh, hi Vinay. Uh, Hi Madhu.
Hello.
Hi Maruti. Hi Abhishek.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, hi Deepak.
Okay, I think we can start with introduction, quick introduction. Okay, let me introduce myself. Myself Deepak Nishad. So, I've been uh, working as a platform engineer for, I believe, quite some time. I've been uh, working majorly on platform engineering side, majorly this all of the Docker, like all of DevOps tools, like I have hands-on. Also, I have contributed a lot in cost optimization tools, like building in-house cost optimization tools on cloud and security perspective. Yeah, that's all about me. You guys can also like start with a quick introduction. Let's start with Vinay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vinayak Mahajan. So I'm a working professional. I have 15 plus of experience, but I'm not into DevOps. I'm into the implementation on other technologies. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
Deepak, there are a lot of people there.
Okay.
Time may not permit to take everybody's
Yeah,
intro.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's start. We can start.
yeah. We can start the session.
Okay, so today we'll be like learning. We'll start with Linux from basic. Uh, so, can anyone like raise hand, like if you guys are comfortable, like anyone who has used Linux, I want to know like to set a bar, like where we are, so we can start with basics or intro. Obviously, we'll start with basic. Are you guys familiar with Linux, everyone?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, okay, let's start with Linux. So I have also like this GitHub I will share with you. So all the command which I will be using, you guys can access that, all of those things. So let's start with Linux. So basically, Linux is nothing but a kernel. Like most of the people, if you ask, they will tell Linux is an operating system, but it's not. It's a kernel which is developed, and on the top of that, uh, there are operating system like Ubuntu, RHEL, another operating system which came. So this is the. Let me know if my screen is visible or not.
Yeah, visible your screen.
Yeah. So this is the architecture of the whole Linux. We'll discuss each component one by one. So there is a hardware, then there is a kernel, then there is a shell, an application. The application, what you call the application which we are using, GUI application like this Chrome and anything, the player, media player, whatever thing. We as a user majorly interact with the application layer at the application layer. Like this Chrome browser, I am interacting or any application, the Meet, the media player. So behind the scene, this is the architecture which is like working. Any application requires like some resources, might be CPU memory or like hard disk to store some data. This is the layer from where your request goes from. So this is the application layer, then application interacts with your shell, the shell interacts with the kernel, and kernel is the one like it's a bridge between your hardware, it interacts with your hardware and shell. So let's start with hardware. Hardware, everyone knows like it's a physical component like CPU, memory, RAM, uh, storage, networking devices like the Wi-Fi you use, the Ethernet cable you use. All of those things are nothing but hardware. Uh, then the kernel is nothing the core. So all of the like there are various like resource management of kind of thing. So this kernel is what which is responsible for that. The process management, the memory management, the device management, all of those things is one this Linux core does. So the file system will be will how to manage or how to store any data into the file system, then networking, the TCP IP, all of those things. So this is the abstraction which no one knows, like this is the kernel. Then there comes shell. Shell, if you guys have used Linux, so everyone must be aware of, like, there is a shell. This is the command line through which we interact. If I want to see any file, so there is a command called cat, then license. So I want to see a file content. So this is the command I am uh, like I am providing this to my shell. So this gives me some content to my standard output. So behind the scene, what does this command? This command flows like this. This is the shell through which I interact. I started interacting. So there are a lot of shell which came after the Linux kernel has came. So ZSH, since I am using Mac, so by default it provide ZSH. Then Bourne shell is there. So different operating system by default they provide different kind of shell. Uh, so now it comes to like application layer. So there are certain commands like the cat command, which I use to see any file. Then if I want to look into any file, like what all contents are there. So all of those uh, command resides in the application, this application or user space. So this is like high level architecture, how your Linux system, like what is the architecture of Linux? Uh, so is there any like uh, does this gives you the clarity? We'll go much more deeper into all of this command, but this is the high level architecture. Is everyone clear? You guys have any doubt? So we can move to another topic. Another topic will be much more deeper. Okay, I believe. So the the most important thing in Linux is to understand the file system. The second topic is the file system. So if you see any Linux system, I have logged in into a Linux system. If you see, you guys have mostly seen cd slash. So this is nothing but the file system which you will see. There are a lot of directories like slash bin, slash boot, var, temp, dev. So there are a lot of directories you will find, and each directory has some meaning. Like if you want to see the log of any application, where you will find. So you will always find a log in a certain directory. So this directory is created for a purpose. Like every Linux user should be aware of, like if you want to configure some application like Nginx kind of application or any application, where you can go, you all of the configuration files should also always reside in into this etc folder. So this is the directory structure, and we can go inside each of this directory structure, what all components are, like what is the purpose of each directory. So if you look, this is slash bin is nothing but all of the executable commands. Like if you want to see any file content, so cat. So this cat is nothing but a executable which is installed, and this executable this executable you will find inside this slash bin directory. You can go inside this slash bin, and if you see, there are a lot of binaries and executables are there. Uh, you can see this uh, df command. This command is used to like check how like your uh, storage, like how much space any directory is taking. So like all of those executable you will find in slash bin. So then slash boot cover, like there are a lot. This directory contain the binaries or like file, the directories or like files which your Linux system will use to boot at the runtime. When you start your operating system or your Linux system, there are some files which are there inside this boot directory. So your Linux system will use this to start its process. So you can find all of those thing here. Then slash dev, when you connect your Linux system with any hard disk, so you need to mount that hard disk into your Linux system. So you will always find slash dev, like you can mount your external hard disk or SSD you at this slash dev directory. uh, then etc. So the most important is like the day-to-day, the DevOps engineer will use this etc directory to configure any application. So etc is nothing but it contain all of the files through which you can configure your any application. So if I can show you slash etc, so here you can see there are a lot of files which is there, which will be, you will majorly find the configuration related files here in slash etc. So if you want to configure anything, any application, like if you installed any web server, so you will find like Nginx, you will uh, like Nginx is a application which is used to serve your application like HTML, CSS or your website. So if you want to configure that thing, you can come here and you can configure your application. Let me check if Nginx is installed in this or not. So I will cover this cron, but this cron is the service which will provide you the feasibility to automate certain tasks. So to configure that, you can see here configuration related files here. This is a okay. Cats this. So through which here you can configure any like automation script, and when this automation script should run. So all of those configuration you can do from here. Similarly, there are a lot of like applications are there. So like if you install any Apache or Nginx, you can come here and you can configure. You will mostly find configuration related file in etc folder only. So slash home, this slash home contains your home directory of users that the users which are logged in or the user which are present in your system. So if I come here slash home, so if I do ls, so Ubuntu is the user which is like through which I am logged in. So this the at home directory of Ubuntu user is created. Can go also inside this and check, like this is the home directory, or if you create any user, any another user, the home directory of that user will also get created here. We'll see in future uh, session. So then slash lib, this contain a lot of like libraries which will be used, uh, dependencies library, like if you install any application. So slash lib will generally contain the libraries which are interdependent on to run that application. So similarly, media, like here you can see like images or videos you can save, then mount. Uh, Usually people um, use this slash dev and slash mnt to mount external hard disk or SSDs to mount, and then they can use that hard disk into their Linux system. Then this OPT, this is like optional package if you want to install any application externally. So /opt will be the directory where you will put the binary and then start installation. Then /admin is nothing but the system related binaries which will be there, not the user which will use. Like there are commands like to make any directory, to list any directory. All of those commands are there, but those command executable you will not, like you won't find in a /bin. /bin generally contains system related binaries. Then SRV, the data or service file system, like it is not like no one use a lot, but for knowledge, I have put this image here. Then /temp is nothing but the temporary file which your application will create. So all of those temporary files will get created at /temp. This directory you can see here, etc, then opt /temp. Let me run temp. If I come here, you can see temporary files are getting created here. Uh, then USR, basically user utilities and applications. This is also like no one use a lot. Then /proc is nothing but it contains all of the process related stuff. If I go here, you can come here and check this. These integers are nothing